In the dead of night, when the wind howls like a betrayed lover and thunder cracks the sky open, have you ever lashed out at shadows, only to wake with hands stained by your own fury? Imagine a fisherman, his boat splintered not by the storm, but by the rage he hurled at the waves. One whisper from a stranger and his world unraveled. But what if that stranger held the key to mending not the boat, but the soul within? This is the tale of a man who drowned in his own tempests until he learned to swim. Once upon a time, in a rugged coastal hamlet clinging to the cliffs of the Aegean, where olive groves whispered secrets to the salt-laced breeze, there dwelt a man called Theo. Theo was infamous for his storm cloud wrath. If his nets came back light from the sea's grudging bounty, he bellowed curses that echoed off the waves. If a goat wandered into his modest stone hut, he roared until the poor beast fled in terror. Even the laughter of village children carried on the foam-flecked air drew his thunder. Must you mock the gods with your noise? He blamed the indifferent sea, the fickle winds, the careless folk around him, anything but the fire he stoked within his own breast. His wife, Lena, with her sun-worn hands and eyes like polished amber, would murmur through the haze of his fury, "Theo, why do you surrender your serenity to trifles?" He would flare like a torch in the gale. "Because the world owes me respect. If they trample my dignity, how can I not rise in flames?" Unseen to him, he was handing the reins of his heart to every passing fool, every errant gust. One golden dawn, as the horizon bled crimson into the sea, a wanderer drifted into the hamlet. Clad in a threadbare chiton the color of driftwood, his beard silver as moonlit foam and his gaze steady as the eternal tide, he settled on a weathered rock by the harbor's edge. The villagers murmured, "He utters few words, yet they carve paths through the soul's hidden coves." Lena, her voice a gentle ripple, urged Theo one evening as embers died in their hearth, "Go to the wanderer, my love. Perhaps he knows the anchor for your unrest." Theo scoffed, his laugh rough as barnacles. "What wisdom from a drifter who battles no tempest like mine?" Yet the seed took root, unseen. The very next morn, as Theo wrestled his lines amid the choppy swells, a neighbor's lad, careless in his boyish zeal, snagged and snapped one of Theo's oars against the rocks. Fury erupted like a waterspout. Theo's roar split the air, scattering gulls and sending the boy scrambling ashore, tears carving tracks through the salt on his cheeks. That dusk, as the sun sank into the wine-dark sea, Theo slumped against his hut's cool wall, his ribs aching from the echo of his own rage. "Why does my venom always poison me deepest?" he breathed to the gathering stars. Sleep evaded him that night, a thief in the velvet dark. At first light, with the world still hushed save for the lap of waves on stone, he trudged to the harbor rock. The wanderer perched there, eyes half shut, attuned to the rhythm of the tide. Theo shifted, words tangling like kelp. At last they spilled. "Stranger, I'm adrift. The world ignites me, and I burn without cease." The wanderer regarded him, a faint curve softening his lips like a crescent moon on water. "Rest here, seeker," he inquired softly. "When the blaze of wrath claims you, how long does its heat linger?" Theo pondered, the sea's murmur his companion. "An hour, perhaps, or till the shadows lengthen into despair. And when the embers cool, what remains?" Theo's voice cracked like dry driftwood. "A hollow ache, a weariness that drags like anchors." The wanderer inclined his head. "Precisely. For wrath is a blaze that scorches the bearer, not the spark that kindled it." He lifted a shell from the sands, its interior pearled and serene. "Gaze here. The calm mirrors your true face. But stir the waters within." With a finger, he swirled the trapped pool, muddling the reflection into chaos. "So it fares with the spirit. Disturbed, it blinds you to wisdom's shore." Theo's brow furrowed like storm clouds. "Then must I swallow every slight, stand mute as a statue while they pelt me with scorn?" The wanderer's smile deepened, warm as hearthglow. "Nay, master the art of riposte over reflex. When hurled stones seek your flesh, you may dodge or deflect. The helm is yours." Come the following dawn, the wanderer bid Theo fetch a clay amphora of seawater, and a fistful of wet sand from the tide line. Theo obeyed, the weight grounding his restless steps. "Heat it over the fire," the wanderer instructed, flames leaping like mischievous sprites. As steam rose and the surface seethed, he queried, "Dare you plunge your hand now?" Theo recoiled. "Impossible. It's a cauldron of fury." The wanderer nodded, eyes twinkling like stars on breakers. Thus is anger. When passions surge, serenity scalds away. Then, with deliberate grace, he sifted the sand into the boil. This murks the depths, as haste clouds the mind. He decanted the froth into a basin, where it stilled. Gradually, grains sank, unveiling clarity once more. "Behold," the wanderer intoned, "the soul's quieting. Cease the churn, and vision returns." Theo lingered in waited silence, the revelation crashing over him like a rogue wave. All these cycles, he had been the one roiling his own depths. In the days that followed, he schooled himself in stillness. When irritation crested, a dropped amphora, a snide whisper from a fissure, he drew breath like sails filling with zephyr, echoing the wanderer's counsel. Evade the stone, claim not the quarrel. It warred with his marrow at first, old gales howling for release. One midday in the bustling agora, a trader palmed false coins for Theo's catch, his smirk a barb in salt-wound pride. The blaze kindled, urging a torrent of rebuke. But Theo paused, lungs filling with the sea's vast hush. "I'll trade with those whose word holds like good rope," he declared evenly, turning on his heel. The trader gaped, disarmed. For the first time, Theo tasted the salt of triumph without the sting of scorch, and that eve, slumber claimed him deep and dreamless. Yet transformation courts the gale's fiercest trial. As Theo ambled the cliff path one mist-shrouded morn, a knot of idle youths jeered from the shadows. Hark! The thunderer plays the sage, swaddled in false peace. Their guffaws sliced the fog. Heat surged in Theo's veins, knuckles whitening like bleached shells, his pulse a war drum. Unleash the storm. Remind them of your might. But the wanderer's timbre resurfaced, steady as lighthouse beam. In reflex lies surrender. In poise, your throne. Theo halted, uncurled his fists, and met their eyes with a dawn-lit grin. True enough, I was once the gale's thrall. Now, I seek fairer winds. Their mockery faltered, bewildered. How endure our barbs without reprisal? One ventured. Theo's reply flowed like olive oil on calm waters. When foes proffer hemlock, one need not sip to prove one's mettle. The cluster hushed, adrift in his tranquility. Theo pressed on, his spirit buoyant as a cork on the swell. Seasons wheeled like the sun across the vaulted sky. Lena marveled at the man reborn. No more tirades at wayward goats, no shadowed brows, only a quiet bloom, even amid mended nets and lean halls. One amber afternoon, Theo sought the harbor rock anew. He knelt, voice thick with tide's emotion. "Wayfarer, your gifts have moored me. Not the barbs of others, but my own tempests, stole my joy. Now I elect the harbor over the hurricane." The wanderer beamed, lines etching deeper like waves on stone. "You've navigated well, Theo. Trials will lash eternally, but each equanimity forged tempers the inner keel." Theo ventured, "Will the gales ever spare me?" Laughter bubbled from the wanderer, light as spray. When the mariner fears no swell, the sea grows companion, not conqueror. Years unfurled like sails in trade winds. Theo earned whispers as the hamlet's steadfast beacon. In moments of communal squall, folk sought his hearth for solace. He would intone, ever gentle. Tranquility blooms not in the world's hush, but in the heart's unyielding cove. One twilight, as a wide-eyed lad trailed him to the shore, the boy queried, "Uncle Theo, do the waves still seek to capsize you?" Theo's gaze softened, tracing the horizon's endless vow. "They lap and lash, aye, but withhold the surrender, and their fury ebbs to froth. You master not the currents, but the craft that cleaves them. He paused, the sea's symphony swelling. In forsaking the fray, I truly set sail. We cannot staunch the world's sharp tongues nor bar the tempests at our door, yet we can deny them dominion over our dawn. Each riposte is a sovereign decree, each breath of calm, a crown of fortitude. The soul that reigns its reflexes reigns its realm, so when next the gales assail your peace, let a quiet smile rise like mist off the main, and murmur to the void, I claim not the stone. The cosmos bends to no one's whim, but your response to its caprice, that is the true odyssey. In the hush beyond the roar, therein lies the voyage home.